Welcome into another episode. This is episode 222. I'm Kyle. He's JD. We are the Back in Time Pod. JD, how the heck are you tonight?
I'm doing fantastic. It seems like it's been a hot minute since we've been on a show together.
It's been a little while since we've been on a live show together, but we just recorded one last week, so...
Seems like forever ago, though.
Yeah. I guess that's your way of saying you miss me. I accept.
Oh, I do. I miss your steel blue eyes and your pouty...
Not blue.
Yep. Well, whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't miss you that much.
I love it. Well, yeah, man, I love getting on here, especially doing these YouTube lives, and if I can even say that right. But if you guys are listening on the podcast, we thank you for hitting the download button on the podcast. If you're missing out on watching these pretty faces on YouTube, well, that's on you. You can find it pretty easy, though. Back in Time Podcast in the search bar. Our channel will pop up. You'll hit the subscribe button. You hit the bell notification. As soon as we go live, you guys get the notification, you click on it, and you're right here with us. So other than that, I want to kind of just dive into it, JD. But before we get into some Rookie of the Year, let's be kind and rewind the last week, episode 221. We talked about our top 3 baseball movies. Catch the audience up real quick. What did they miss out on?
They missed audience. If you did not listen, you missed out on a competitive episode because breaking down a top 3 was a lot more difficult than I thought it would be. And I mean, we got into a great conversation about baseball movies, about what these movies mean to us, what America's pastime is, and I think I threw Kyle for a little bit of a loop.
You did. You threw me for a Fruit Loop with this one, and I had a lot of fun. It was just a really difficult list to put together because there's so many baseball movies that I love. So if you haven't checked out that episode yet, go into the archives and hit play on that bad boy and see what we have to say. I think you'll love my list. I don't know that you guys will love JD's list. He's got a couple on there that you'll be like, wow, that one? Top 3? I don't know.
I do know.
Debatable. Master debatable.
As always, my list is better.
Right.
So do give the episode a listen. We had a poll out earlier talking about who you audience thought was, or which movie you thought was the best baseball movie. So tweet us your love or your hate. Let us know what you think. Maybe we missed the mark. Maybe we didn't talk about enough bench warmers. I'm just saying, bench warmers.
Benchwarmers was on the list. That's a real thing. Here's the reason we're here today. We're here to talk about Rookie of the Year. JD, there's only 5 or 6 games left in the regular season now, right now for major league teams. So we're really at the end of the road, and then postseason's going to start here in just a little bit. But obviously, we wanted to do a baseball-centric movie. Why was Rookie of the Year the way to go this time around?
It had to be Rookie of the Year. It's a movie that I believe to be on our original master list.
It was.
We've been dancing and flirting around bringing a Thomas Ian Nichols outside of American Pie movie to the conversation for some time. So as you know, I think you came into September with this movie already picked out and ready to go.
I sure did. Yeah.
And when you pitched it, it was a slam dunk, and here we are.
And here we are. Man, what's your first memory of watching Rookie of the Year? Take us back to, little JD. It's 1993. You're 8 years old. You're maybe 9 years old if you caught it on VHS in 94. What's your first memory here?
This was a VHS movie for sure. It was on my radar for theatrical, but I know I didn't see it. This was a movie that I remember renting with my grandmother.
Yeah.
And watching at her place and just falling in love with the movie, the acting, the sights, the scenes. Everything about this movie is just fantastic, and it brings me back into the glory days of 93, 94 for sure.
Hey, Fallon, can you chill out with the toes? I'm kidding. It's JD's dog in the background there. I think the thing that really kind of glued me into this movie was that I don't know if you remember the original VHS cover, but it's Henry being hoisted up by the Cubs. He's got the ball like over his head, one ball in one hand, and he's just smiling. It's just like, okay, well, that's a kid's movie about a kid that plays for the Chicago Cubs. Like, of course you're going to want to see that movie as a kid who plays t-ball and likes to go outside and hit the ball with his friends. Like, obviously there's going to be an audience for it on that side of things. And then also, I mean, some of the supporting cast here is going to loop in your older audience here, because you've got Gary Busey, you've got Daniel Stern, who also directs this movie, and then you've got John Candy in an uncredited role as the announcer, playing the Harry Carey.
Yeah, heck yeah. And just everything that you say, and especially being, I believe you to be a Sox fan, unfortunately. When it comes
I was actually a Cubs and a Sox fan at this age.
It
wasn't until Sammy Sosa corked his bat that I stopped rooting for the Cubs. That's a true story. I remember the game had happened. They picked up the bat. I saw he was a cheater, and that was the last time I ever rooted for him. I just voted for steroid guys after that. So
I was going to say the steroids didn't bother you, but the corked bat did.
That's what I just said. Yeah.
I just wanted to be on the record the fact that
I'm still a huge Jose Canseco fan.
Well,
a Jose Canseco bat. Ninja Turtles archives.
Ooh, yeah.
With Wes, our buddy, Real Talk Movie Podcast. So check them out. Now, JD, it's been a long while since I've watched this. This was also a VHS rental for me. I feel like I might have watched this with my grandparents as well, because I can remember going to the store and getting it. But man, I haven't watched the trailer in forever. I recorded earlier today and specifically did not watch it while I was recording. I waited till it was done and then came back to it. So what do you say we hit play on this and let's watch it?
Home run.
All right. We'll watch about 30 seconds. We'll pause, make sure we don't get kicked off of YouTube, and we'll keep on plugging along here.
And if we do, goodbye.
See ya.
Mom, come on. I got a game.
Henry thinks that he's actually going to play today.
Henry Rowan-Gardner had a dream.
Rowan-Gardner, get in the right field.
Playing in the major leagues. Only one thing
I got it.
stood in his way.
Home! Home!
Reality. Until one day, everything fell into place.
How long will he have to be in the cast?
August. And now rotate from the shoulder slowly.
Whoa!
Funky butt loving.
JD, did he just say funky butt loving?
He said funky butt loving. He did. He wanted to say something more. I want to see like an outtake of like an R-rated version where he's like, I won't say it, audience, but there's a different line of dialogue that he probably wanted to say.
Right. I don't know if he would. I mean, Daniel Stern comes from, the Home Alone fame. So obviously, he's been around kid actors before. This is no big deal for him. But yeah, I do love the funky butt loving line, I have to say.
Yeah, but I feel like there's a raunchy version somewhere. There's a Rookie of the Year porn. There has to be somewhere where he says something other than funky butt loving. Or maybe he does just say funky butt. I don't know. I mean...
Well, let's keep chugging along.
Okay.
Those tendons have healed a little tight.
Now, the kid who wasn't good enough for Little League
Mom, watch this. Wait!
is pitching
Gosh, Henry, you can play for the Cubs.
Yeah, he could.
in the big leagues.
I'm the new
She could play for the Cubs right now.
12-year-old Henry Rowan-Gardner, the youngest person in history to play Major League Baseball.
Let's pause it right here. JD, Bonilla, number 25. I had a lot of his cards growing up. Do you know why Bobby Bonilla is so famous?
Because he was a good ball player?
That is not correct.
I think it is correct.
Bobby Bonilla has arguably the greatest contract in the history of baseball. So let me fill you in on this. Every single year, it is called Happy Bobby Bonilla Day. He has been getting $1.19 million, including 8% interest, for 25 years, starting July 1st of 2011. So he's going to continue to get paid as a baseball player until 2036.
Yeah, because he's a good ball player.
How is that for a retirement?
Because he was good. It's like a
He was
pension.
he was okay. They actually they made that deal with him because they did not want him on the team anymore. That's why his contract's laid out like that. Now here is Barry Bonds before the steroids.
Hi, Henry. Welcome to the big show.
He's coming up.
But what can one sixth grader do against pros like these?
Give me the good stuff.
Anything he wants.
Jam the cheese! Stinky cheddar!
I dare you to run. What? What's the matter? Chicken?
I'm not a chicken, you're the chicken.
Oh boy.
This summer, the majors
Hey, pitcher!
will be answering to a minor.
Pitcher's got a big butt. Pitcher's got a big butt.
I love that he looks at his butt there. That's all.
Rookie of the year.
There you go. Look at the size of his head. It's half the size.
He was still 30 for 30 club back then.
Yeah. 30 for, I mean, honest to God, and that's the thing that is probably most frustrating about Barry Bonds. He would have never broke the home run record. He would have never played close to 20 years. But if he would have stayed off the steroids, he would for sure have been a first round ballot Hall of Famer and probably looked at as, the greatest outfielder since Willie Mays.
That's a bold statement.
I mean, look at his numbers before the steroids. I mean, he had amazing numbers.
He was good. He put up amazing numbers. You're not kidding. And I hear you typing away, looking it up to try to verify your.
Well, I just want to kind of give you an idea. Like, I believe the steroids started around 1996, 97, somewhere in there. Before that, in 93, when I don't think he was juicing, the guy had 46 home runs that year.
He was a good hitter.
Insane.
Kyle, there's no amount of steroids that we can pump into your ass that would equate to one home run.
Right.
So you have to give him credit. And I'm not saying that he was right for what he did, or anybody that ever did any steroid to get ahead of the competition is justified in what they did, but he was still a damn good hitter.
He was a damn good hitter. Listen to this season, though. I don't care if this is steroids or not. 73 home runs, 137 RBIs, 13 stolen bases. He was 36 years old at that time. Still swiped 13 bags. Batted .328 with an on-base percentage of .515.
Steroids don't help your...
Yeah.
The home runs, they help, yeah. But his batting average... Steroids don't help your focus and your hand and eye coordination to actually make contact with the ball.
Yeah. And how about this? The very next year, not as many home runs, but he batted .370. 370. Back to back to back to back MVP. So the guy won 7 MVPs. I still think he should be in the Hall of Fame. It's stupid. But I would just say, hey, would you be okay if we erased everything after 1998 and put you in the Hall of Fame with those numbers? He'd be like, yeah, I don't care. Put me in the Hall of Fame.
It's such a stupid decision what he did, because like you said, he was a great ball player and
great ball player.
Yeah. Anyways, but he gets
we haven't even talked about the trailer though. I mean, but he struck out on a 100-mile-an-hour fastball from Henry Roland Schnabber. What do you think of the trailer though? In all seriousness, what do you think?
I think it's a great trailer. I love the narrative that voiceover guy does.
Yeah.
He really tells a really cool story. And a lot of times these trailers that we watch are kind of, pardon my French, but masturbatory.
Okay.
Where it's just them getting off on their own concept But I think that they did an excellent job of sort of baiting, no pun intended, us as viewers to like be intrigued with what's going on with the way that they structured it. And I think it's a great trailer, and I'm very interested in watching the movie.
I think he's the greatest pitcher in Cubs history. It's just me. I mean, throw him the high, stinky cheddar. This entire movie is one big quote machine, and I am going to have a blast talking about this on our retrospective episode that should drop here in a couple days. But, I mean, I'm looking at some of the YouTube comments on this video. This one's kind of funny. To think Henry Rowan-Gardner would have been 36 years old when the Cubs won the World Series in 2016. He could have still been on the team, man, in real life.
Yeah, but it's we'll get into the details about what happens with Henry Merkenracker. But
yeah. All right, well, give me the good stuff. Let's keep on going. Let's talk a little bit about the box office numbers. So this movie was a summer release. We're looking at right after 4th of July weekend, July 9th, 1993. We are at a runtime of 103 minutes, so it's clocking in at an hour and 43. I tend to like movies right around that hour and 30, hour and 40 minute range, especially ones like this, JD. I think if this was 2 hours long, it'd probably be 15 or 20 minutes too much. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that. I think that there is a sweet spot for every genre of movie. And I think modern cinema is pushing it a little too far.
Yeah.
I'm tired of 3-hour movies. Let's calm down, because that's like you could have done 2 movies in that time frame, and I could have gotten a bathroom break.
Okay. Let's talk about the box office. So, opening weekend, there are some heavy hitters in there with Rookie of the Year. It did debut number 5 at the on the box office charts here, bringing in $9.1 million in the first weekend. The movie would drop 2 spots in week number 2, the number 7, but still a pretty solid showing. Another $6.6 million over the weekend, which brought their 10-day total to $24.8 million. And this is a $31 million budget, so they're well on their way to recouping the budget here, JD. What do we think about the first 10 days, and is there any schoolyard effect in play, you think?
I think that the first 10 days are a little, to me, number-wise disappointing. I'm sure they expected more because, I mean, a good kids movie's like lightning in a bottle. It
Right.
just, you capture it, and all of a sudden you're Shrek and you're cruising on to hundreds upon hundreds of millions of dollars for no reason, because Shrek sucks.
Okay, that's
Rookie
fair.
of the Year is better. So I do think that there is a minor schoolyard effect, probably not as big as the producers would have hoped, but at least something to bump.
Okay. There's not much of a schoolyard effect. Unfortunately, they would drop to number 10 in week number 3. And then after that, we are out of the top 10, 13, 14, 13, 15, 15, and out of movie theaters at that point. The total domestic box office total here for Rookie of the Year ended up being $53,615,089. So, I mean, we're roughly $22 million over the budget. So I would say they probably did recoup the money. And then I gotta imagine this movie did pretty well at Blockbuster and all those other movie rental facilities.
Oh, I mean, this was how we both watched it. Oh, look at that little chuggy wuggy.
Yeah,
For those of you that aren't watching and listening to this, Kyle just chugged some Honest Tea. Is that what that was?
Gatorade Zero.
Ooh,
Close enough.
Gatorade, I will censored comment.
Medulla oblongata.
There it is.
Yeah, I mean, 53 million. I think they're probably pretty happy with it. They might have been expecting maybe a little bit more, but I think when I show you this top 10 breakdown of the week it came out and the week after it came out, you can kind of see the picture of why. So it was very stiff competition here. No pun intended. So let me pop that up here.
That's what she said.
Everybody can see what I see here.
That's also what she said.
Okay. Laying it on thick. That's what he said. The Firm was number 1 at the box office that week. Number 2 was Jurassic Park, only in week 5. That's going to be tough to get out of there. Number 3, In the Line of Fire. Number 4, you got a chick flick, Sleepless in Seattle. Number 5, Rookie of the Year. Number 6, you got a little competition with the younger crowd. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs getting re-released. Number 7, more of the younger crowd competition. We got Dennis the Menace. Number 8, Son-in-Law. There goes all the stoners. Number 9, Weekend at Bernie's 2. Also debuting that week. That's a little bit of competition. And then What's Love Got to Do It at 10. But look at this. Last Action Hero, Cliffhanger, Menace to Society. I mean, this is a deep, deep list.
Yeah, it is. No, you're absolutely right. This was a competitive week for sure. I didn't realize that JP was out the same time. I mean, 5 weeks out, but for it to almost double what Rookie of the Year did in its opening weekend, and for Jurassic Park to be down 19% in its take, it's impressive.
Here we go. Next week, how about this for some more competition in that coming-of-age family movie atmosphere? Hocus Pocus and Free Willy both debut. I know you don't like Free Willy, but the movie did very well. And Hocus Pocus obviously has gone on to do very well in its own right. So I think both of these movies ended up, 39 million for Hocus Pocus, 77 for Free Willy. So Free Willy had some staying power on that top 10.
Unfortunately, and for those of you that enjoy Free Willy, you're wrong. And go back to our archive and listen for all the reasons why you're wrong, because I do not hold a punch back.
Man, Jurassic Park just in that top 5 for like 2 months. That's intense. Well, that's the box office number. So, JD, if we could get into our DeLorean, put a bunch of crap into the Mr. Fusion and hit that baby back to 88 miles an hour. I mean, is this a weekend that you think you'd want to visit and go check out a cinema?
Oh, I mean, those first 2 weekends for sure. I could knock out probably seeing Last Action Hero multiple times or Jurassic Park multiple times. Like, that's...
Honestly, I probably wouldn't watch Snow White. I'd probably watch every movie in the top 10 other than that, and then include 11 and 12, and heck, I might even stick around for Menace to Society. So
Dennis the Menace to Society.
No kidding. Great year in film. So let's talk about how the critics received Rookie of the Year. Now, JD, do you want to throw out a number? Do you want to pontificate a little bit first? What are we thinking this week?
Look at you with your big words. Did somebody gift you a dictionary for?
I have one of those tearaways, and that was the word of the day. So
there it is. Are you being serious though about that being how what pontificate means? Okay, I love pontificating, and I often do it to great extent. I don't know. This is a tough one because I have to think that critics. I'm guessing critics, right? Not audience.
Yeah, you're gonna guess critics, and you can give me the audience score as well. But I want to know what you think from the critics.
I gotta think critics did not give a damn about this movie because it's not for them.
Okay,
it's not for them. It's like a squeeze it. Like, what are you gonna do with a juicy fruit when you're a 56-year-old man? Like, nothing. It's just an all red juicy fruit thing for you, or like all marshmallow Lucky Charms. Like, this isn't for you. This is for 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old us to then re-enjoy when we become 30, 40, 50, 60, and hopefully live to be 70, 80, and 1,000 years old. I have to say the critics poo-pooed pretty harshly upon this. I would be surprised if there's any positive responses. I want to say even the audience probably isn't overly fond of this movie.
Interesting.
So I'm going to say 41 critic and 51 audience.
You're very close. 35 and 52. Now, there were not a lot of critics, to say the least. There's only 3 what they consider top critics on the list here. So I'll give you those breakdowns real quick here. James Baradinel from Real Views gave the movie 0.5 out of 4.
Oh my
So
gosh.
clearly, James probably not an athlete, probably didn't play Little League Baseball. But guess who did? Hall of Famer Rod Carew. He converted. Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times, 3 out of 4. And he said, this movie is not likely to make my list of the year's best, but I can remember those miserable Little League games. And so in a modest way, I'm grateful for this film. It is pure wish fulfillment 40 years after I needed it. And that's kind of how I feel about this movie in a nutshell, is it reminds me of being a kid, of being on a Little League team, no, I didn't struggle. I was the best. But being on a team and seeing other kids struggle and, imagining them playing for the Cubs one day because they broke their arm and slipped on a ball. You just never know what can happen, man.
Yeah, especially if we debate who put that ball there to begin with.
Was it a bully, you think?
I don't know. Let's wait for the full review to discuss. Is this a plant? Was this intentional? Were they bringing down Henry Ragofrager?
You never know about Rosenbagger, but that'd be interesting. If we ever get Thomas Ian Nicholas on this, I want to know. Let's dig a little bit more into the script here, man. What did they tell you before they hit play? Is this an accident? Or was it the kid that's like, hey, Roland Gardner, catch! And how do we know that beforehand he wasn't out there just going, here, I'm going to throw some balls out here and watch him slip and break his neck?
Yeah, especially if it were a nasty little spitball. Maybe he spat upon the ball.
Yeah, like Benny the Jet when he puts it in Smalls' glove. Just stand out there, put your glove in the air, and I'll take care of the rest.
You're on to something.
Yeah. I tried spitting on it one time and doing that. I hit it 12 feet.
Well,
didn't work. Not Benny the Jet, though.
You and the Portage phone book have your jumping issues. My favorite story. Kyle,
Yeah.
You couldn't jump over a Portage phone book.
That's a good one. And then there's also the use your fat ass for something other than sitting on the bench. I was like, oh, okay. You could just say box out properly would have been fine, but had to go there, huh? What are you looking forward to most when we get into our retrospective and we get a chance to, watch a couple scenes and talk through this movie and get in the casting and all that fun stuff?
Yeah, I think that I'm super. It's been a while since I've seen this movie, so I'm excited to jump back in and just revisit it. And like how we happened when we watched American Pie 2 in August, it takes you back to when you were that age. It also takes you back to the nostalgia of playing sports, but then also being a baseball fan in 1993 and being a Cubs fan. And I want to say that's probably about the time that Sammy Sosa came to the club, maybe a year before, after he came from the Sox.
Yeah, I actually think 93 was his first year. I'm pretty sure 92 he was with the Sox. Because I'm remembering his cards on, you know what? I think there's an Upper Deck 92 Sosa card that he has with the Sox at the beginning of the year. And then when they put out the Series 2, he was on the Cubs because he had been traded. So it might have been a mid-season trade, and then 93 is his first full season. I'm going to look it up. That'd be a hell of a memory if I'm just going off of his cards. So now I need to know. But let me see here.
I still have.
It's the year, but it's the year before.
It is the year
91
before.
Sox, Cubs, 92, and then first full season was with the Cubbies in 93. 33 home runs, not bad.
He was like Bonds. Yeah, I mean, he was a 30-30 club member. He was stealing those bats.
36 stolen bases that year.
Yeah, He was a player, and again, a shame decisions that he made, but I mean,
Yeah. But let's be honest though, he was juicing in '93, I think, because
You think
when
so?
when he was with the Sox, he was really scrawny, and then the Cubs called him up, and he had like neck muscles just coming out like Bill Goldberg, and I'm like, oh, he looks a little different now.
back from his Texas Rangers rookie card,
Yeah,
which
Yeah.
I own, which I'm sure you own.
I own several of them. Yeah, which
They're selling
his
for $1.50 a pop.
I want to say his rookie card with the Rangers. I can't remember if it's either Upper Deck or Fleer, but his rookie card on the top side is with the White Sox, and I have a ton of those.
I thought it was Leaf
Leaf, for the White Sox,
for the Rangers.
for the Rangers, it might be. Yeah, I didn't really collect a lot of '90 Leaf. I've got the Big Hurt rookie because he's a rookie that year too, and that's the most expensive Thomas rookie, if you're not counting the one that was like a mismanufactured card that doesn't have his name on the front. That's like the holy grail. It's called the Frank Thomas No Name. And that books for thousands of dollars. It's super rare. If you can get one that's not messed up, it's worth like $3. So it's a real bummer.
Well, you get thousands of them, and that's like $3,000.
That's true. That's true. Then you got to sell them all one by one. Not that easy. But JD, let's quit talking cards. Let's wrap this thing up. Thank you guys for listening to another episode of the Back in Time podcast. We are going to be back here in just a couple days, bringing you the Rookie of the Year movie retrospective. And then we're going to be turning the page on September. We're just days away from the start of October. This is notoriously a huge month for us on the podcast. I don't think we're going to do as much as we have in the past because we're also kind of pairing this with quite a bit of Ghostbusters in preparation for Ghostbusters Afterlife. But I'm sure we're going to have to come up with some type of pull topic. We'll have some cool retro episodes dropping this month, so stay tuned. Be on the lookout for those at Back in Time Pod on Twitter. Take part in the polls. Let us know what you guys want to hear, and then we'll be back in a couple days with a brand new episode. But let's hit the road, JD. 88 miles an hour, back to 2021, and we'll be back in a couple days in '93 and breaking down Rookie of the Year. See ya.
Eating some hot ice.
Hot ice.